when we doing the whole blame game, it's on the coach. And it's gonna sound like I'm shooting Caleb some bail when I'm really not. He played like ass for 3 quarters. Yes,
Why did Larry Bourne practice all week, full participant, but they don't make him active?
why do the Bears do anything? Is the bigger question.
At
You know
this
what I'm saying?
point,
Why wait until this week to cut Velas Jones when he shouldn't have made the roster to begin with? Why have a fullback in Kari Blasingame, but decide to use Doug Kramer, then cut Kari Blasingame? Like nothing they do makes sense. So what I'm saying about this, why it keeps coming back to coaching for me, because yeah, Caleb missed some gimmies. Caleb is nervous despite what he said on Hard Knocks, and that's fine. He's a rookie. It's going to happen. But it's to me more it's the play calls, man. That's what I'm going back to. And this is not me shooting him bail. It's the play calls. Like if you look at somebody, I went back and watched the game today again. Some of these niggas ain't getting open, and I don't blame the receivers. It's the play. What routes do they have these niggas running? Well, you've got good wide receivers like a DJ Moore, like Keenan Allen, like Roma Dunze, where they can't get open. And so it's a whole mix of things to lead to what his for him to be able to execute. So yes, Jaden Daniels, his biggest thing is he has coaching that makes it easy for him. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's a great thing. That's what you want from your rookie quarterback, so the offensive coordinator could make it easy. It feels like Shane Waldron's like, you know the meme where it's like, God, Akeem, your toughest battles. Shane Waldron is the other nigga who's like, I'm always giving you tougher battles. Why make it tougher for the nigga to begin with? That to me is when it comes down to the number one thing of what we're placing blame at. It's a bad game plan. You just had a bye week. How you come out that unprepared off 2 weeks? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
hey man, but Cole Komet said it. These niggas wasn't even
Shout out to
practicing
Cole,
hard
bro.
like
Shout
that.
out to Cole for saying that. I appreciate him
What did
and
he
the
say?
whole leadership group. He said, bro, they was fucking off in practice. He said
I
even
didn't
in
hear that
practice,
part,
he said even in practice we had people that weren't focused, that weren't locked in. They were playing.
And that's coaching. Like the fact that Tyreek Stevenson can even do that. And he said, oh, I was talking to Bears fans. I wasn't going at Commanders fans. Either way, it's stupid. Why are you talking, nigga? It's a couple seconds left in the game. And you should have been on Noah Brown, which is what Flus said, which even though he was supposed to be on Noah Brown, I have a problem with Flus always throwing his players under the bus. The nigga said, I've never heard a head coach say this before. The play before, where Terry McLaurin caught the ball for like 50 yards, he said that play doesn't matter. And then you hear a soundbite from Dan Quinn saying, without that play, we don't win the game. That shows you the difference between those two dudes right there. So I'm not shooting anybody any bail. Caleb was god-awful for 3 quarters, but I think majority of that is the play calling and the situations they are putting this nigga in. And it's atrocious. You're seeing the exact opposite of how you build up a rookie quarterback. Now,
niggas saying atrocious. Oh shit.
It might be is Caleb talented? Is Caleb talented enough to overcome it? Yes, but why would you want him to overcome it? Make things simpler for him. And that goes back to Ryan Poles. Like it goes back to the O-line construction. What Pat Designer said, stop putting offensive linemen who play like you up there, my nigga. Like that's an issue that we consistently have. And with Tyree Steven, if you got Cole Kmet talking about, yeah, they were fucking on practice. It's coaching. That's coaching. He should never even been comfortable enough to do that. And then you have the situation where, now granted, I'm not an NFL coach. He will be playing next week. That to me is inexcusable. When it comes to that, well, how much blame are you putting on a Tyree Stevenson? Flows, I'm gonna go to you.
I don't know, man. My points remain the same. My biggest issue with this team is that they're just unprepared. They're not coached well. And yes, as talented as Caleb Williams is, it's hard to succeed when you don't have the backing of competent coaching. That being said, I've been in this situation as a Bears fan my entire life. There's always somebody away. Man, only if we get a new head coach. All the offensive coordinator is to blame. When it's just a symptom of just large rot within the organization. We said this often with Luke Getsy. Luke Getsy is not a good offensive coordinator. We talked about, man, these receivers aren't getting open. Well, if we get a quarterback, that's going to change. Get a quarterback, it doesn't change. If I was a superstitious person, I would say this team is cursed. Because why is it that everyone else in the league, well, not everyone, but a good chunk of the league, even if they're not great teams, they figured out how to move the ball effectively. Why is it that they can do those things, but the Bears struggle to do those things? At the end of the day, I think it comes down to how the McCaskies run this organization and their lack or willingness to do more than the bare minimum as it comes to finding someone who is going to be the next general manager, the next president, the next coach. There's too much of a rush to just get somebody who you can mold and shape into be this coach rather than going into someone who's established and will get you success and will have a better certainty of success. When I look at all the Bears coaches in recent memory, when was the last person who had solid experience building a good team?
John Fox.
John Fox was the last one.
John Fox
And
was
you
the last
undercutted
one.
him.
And you undercutted him. He wanted Deshaun Watson or Jamal Adams. And they said, here's Mitchell Trubisky.
Exactly.
Shit, maybe they made the right decision on that one.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's
I wanted Jamal Adams, though, just to let y'all know.
Both them motherfuckers ass.
He's ass. But
so when I look about all that, I realize how much this franchise is just bad from the top to the bottom. I'm never going to forget years ago when I asked George McCaskey, when you going to get some young blood in this organization? You know what I mean? Who were they asking? That famed head coach who was coming in as a advisor. I can't remember.
Ernie Accorsi was in there, and then
No, it was somebody else. He was
Bill Polian?
Bill Polian.
No, Bill Polian, yeah.
Who came and gave advice. I'm like, yeah, that's great, but the league is different now.
But Bill Polian is 80.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look like that anymore. And unfortunately, this is just what happens. Now, bear in mind, part of the reason I feel this way is because of this Bears PTSD. This could be, at least for Caleb and Shane, that, man, they just had a bad game. Shane did not do what he's supposed to do. He'll make it up. Because honestly, I thought Shane has called really good games the past 3 weeks. They've been really solid. Caleb has improved. Eberflus is who he is. It's not going to change. But maybe this is Bears PTSD creeping up, and I just have to deal with the fact that, yeah, they lost. It was embarrassing, but if I remember correctly, the Lions lost a Hail Mary years ago to Aaron Rodgers, and that didn't stop them from later on becoming a better team. You just got to eat that loss. You got to deal with it and then hope for things to get better in the future. Not 100% sure, but as of right now, my gut is telling me this is the same old, same old. So all in all, it starts with coaching, but beyond that, it starts with organizational leadership. And if Kevin Warren is as serious as he says he is about creating a winning culture, then that has to be passed down to Ryan Poles. And if Ryan Poles is as serious as he is about creating a winning franchise, you have to look at your head coach. You have to realize your head coach is not getting it done. And if that's the case, you move on from him. But then when you move on from him, you need to make sure you're finding people all over that entire coaching staff that can give you the best results. I'm hesitant to move on from Shane Waldron because I'm like, I don't want him to go through what every Bears quarterback goes through in life, which is 1,000 different offensive coordinators and a couple head coaches. The jury's still out on Shane Waldron. I'm going to give him time because this is his first year with the Bears. I thought he's shown good things the past 3 weeks, but it just wasn't a well-coached game to begin with. That being said, offensive coordinators only go as far as their head coach will allow them to go. And I've seen enough years of tape on Matt Eberflus that I think this is who he is. He's not a good head coach. Let's move on to someone else. And until that happens, I'm going to approach every game with the mindset that the Bears probably lose.
Go ahead, Mikey. Where you placing the Deshaun Stevenson conversation? In his
Deshaun Stevenson, that's
not
crazy.
Tyreek Stevenson.
Ask my nigga LeBron. Like what?
Tyreek Stevenson.
I mean, it definitely does fall on coaching. I mean, you also have to remember he had a terrible, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the drive where they actually missed the field goal, but that got them into field goal range there. I just don't think people were locked in, and it goes back to coaching though, because if anybody listened to him speak with Cap and J Hood today, everything he said was bullshit, bro. He said, no, we had the right, everybody was locked in. We had the right guys. Everybody was ready. We got to execute. Everybody wasn't ready. Tyreek Stevenson had his back to the play. Like, how can you say everybody's ready? What were you doing with TJ Edwards? It came out that he wasn't there to spy Jaden Daniels, he was there to cover Austin Eckler. Y'all thought Austin Eckler's old ass was gonna fucking take it 60-something yards to the house if he got like a dump off? I don't, so the Tyreek Stevenson thing, it was clear from the tape. He was responsible for the right side of the field. He was there. Obviously, he had his back turned and he was fucking off, but he was there on the right side of the field. He then needed to go and stick on Noah Brown. He had to go and stick Noah Brown. He kind of like drifted into the play, was like, oh shit, it's going on. And then he made the decision to insert himself in and go and try to tip that ball. That wasn't his responsibility. His responsibility is to be sticking Noah Brown. Even with like Kevin Byard, like I heard everything that he was saying today, the whole veteran talk, all that. In real time, I was upset with him because even then, like, what are you doing jumping? Like he was supposed to be the jumper, right? To deflect it. But just common sense, you're boxed out. You're boxed out. You're not 6'3", you're not 6'4". Look at the amount of men in front of you. Do the numbers. What Bears defenders are in front of you? Who's all there? Oh shit, that means nobody's behind me. You gotta be smarter than that. Even when he jumped, he kind of got pushed by Noah Brown and was in the back. You weren't doing nothing. You were leaving your guy because if you watch the whole tape, he was kind of on him too. So I know he said Elijah Hicks should have been there. I know he said, the Tyreek Stevenson thing. I think everybody fucked up. I honestly think that they went out there and nobody thought that it was realistically possible for the Commanders to convert that on that type of play. You saw the video with Caleb Williams when they did the sideline. He saw it right away. He said, Jaden Daniels, that's short. It was about 5 to 6 yards short.
Yeah.
It was about 5 yards short. But Tyreek Stevenson if that's not your job, that's not your job. You need to do your job. You need to stick Noah Brown. So why are you running to kind of
But it's like even when you tip it, bat it down. Like that.
Correct. It's a swat down. It's a swat down. And so I mean, I know he's gonna get the majority of the blame, and he has been. I was at the gym today, and they had it on like Good Morning America, and they're showing the tape of him like in the corner, and they're showing everything. So like he's getting the blame on it, but it's just an overall breakdown, miscommunication, lack of awareness from everybody, and that goes back to your head coach, who is also your defensive coordinator. Or, I know Eric Washington's defensive coordinator, but we all know all roads lead to Matt Eberflus when it comes to the defense.
Yeah, G, and like my thing with Reek, Mikey, you made a great point, and I really like that you said that. Like the whole back to turn to this play, it looks really bad, but at the beginning of the play, his job was to cover that side of the field and wasn't shit going on. It's the fact that you did that and then you were lost when your ass turned around
what you supposed to do.
You forgot your assignment, and then like Mikey says, you say, you know what, fuck it. I'm about to go up here and slap this ball in the air. When DB 1-on-1 is that on a Hail Mary, you bat that shit down.
Yeah.
Bro, like that was the most frustrating part about it. And Reek got burned by Terry in I want to say the second quarter. And
he got burned by Terry. He had an unnecessary roughness penalty. Like he did a lot of stuff. He did a lot of good too. He punched out the ball on the Zach Ertz. It should have been a touchdown. So like he did good things, but that kind of stuff there's gotta be repercussions.
Yeah, he's definitely another Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of guy. Because it's like he has his plays where it's like, I love the aggressiveness. I love how he plays man coverage. But then it's sometimes you run in your mouth and you get your ass burned. Like, Jalen learned his lesson with that real quick, and he's, develops into an elite cornerback. Yeah. But so far, it's still like that feels like something that Tariq still has to learn. But I think, again, like it all, as much as it's frustrating to talk about coaches because they're not the ones out there playing, and I think that's why Flus gets so defensive and will throw his players under the bus like, shit, I ain't out there.
Flus real quick, too. As a media member, he got to stop acting like we the pain in the ass for asking questions when he's out there talking to us like we covered a Pop Warner team. Like I don't want to hear after you played the way you played yesterday. I got along going to the Zoom and I got to hear you talking that moral victory crap. Oh, we came back. I don't want to hear none of that.
But that shit would not slide in Philadelphia. That shit would not slide in New York. All due respect, Chicago sports media journalists that cover these teams are soft as fuck. Because nobody is really asking those like hard-hitting questions. Nobody's ever asking those hard-hitting questions where you have to see.
There's a reason for that, but I'll tell you off there.
Right. I know, but like that's not happening in these other organizations where winning is expected. You know, that shit in Philly doesn't slide. That shit in New York doesn't slide, even though New York is ass. But like, we don't want to hear coach speak in Chicago. We know football. We watch enough sports. Like that shit does not slide with us. But my last point is just kind of like to the overall like flus and the accountability thing. Daniel Hardy. I should not know Daniel Hardy's name and be able to sit on my couch and legitimately say that's this motherfucker's 4th penalty this season on special teams. Like that is repeat offender shit. That's like, bang, you try to go tell you go tell your kid, hey, go throw out that garbage, and they continuously throw out the garbage, but they forget to put the bag in the garbage. So like, hold on, what are you doing? You know, like this is basic shit, and you're consistently finding a way to fuck it up, and that's only one person that reflects on.
So cool. Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not